Every time I start this show, I forget the click so that you guys can see it.
I recorded it this time so I can show everyone.
I'll start this again. And good evening and welcome to the Dark Mirror Show, your usual round of Friday night shenanigans and irreverent nonsense. This week's show is loosely going to be based around Japanese and Chinese ghosts. Purely because I was born in Hong Kong and lived out there for a while. And I love Chinese and Japanese ghost stories, like the original Ring and all the The Grudge and stuff like that. If you've seen the original ones, you know what I'm on about because they know how to scare the Jesus out of you. Are you scared? I think you were.
That's a dog.
She's blaming a dog.
No, that's a dog. It was a dog.
So, as you all know, I am the alien guy, Mark, and this is my daughter, the Taylor.
You have to say, every time you say I'm the alien guy, you say one word.
Aliens! There you go.
Hello, everyone.
And this is my daughter, Taylor. So it is Taylor and the alien guy. See, I even make you have the head one now. I'd like it's Taylor and the alien guy, not the alien guy. And
well, apparently it's just Mark the alien guy.
I must change that because it's supposed to be Taylor and the alien guy. No, remind me and I'll do that.
Hello, Terry.
Hiya, Terry, mate. You all right? Right. Yes, I know Terry is a lady. Oh!
I didn't say anything.
There is a pug falling asleep back here and snoring. You see that, or you've had something? You've had baked beans. Right, we'll start with a little bit of serious stuff. Oh, and the other pug is sulking all the way on his own. Look at that; he's gone all the way over there. Yeah, back into shot. Basically, ghost stories were the earliest form of literature in ancient China. And they were part of the very old oral tradition. And I don't know if you remember, we were talking about oral traditions last week with cultures and tribes that don't have writing. And they had to make sure that when they passed their knowledge down, it was, although it was done in stories, it was done in such a way that all the details and information was in there.
That's how we get ghost stories. Ignore me.
Do you see what I have to put up with? This is my youngest daughter. Oh, talking of ghosts. Ghost! This is Ghost. Hello. No, that's not Jesus. That is. Can you see? This is the other paranormal pooch. That's your butt in the way, not mine. And this is asleep. This is asleep. Hello.
Oh no.
Right. So put the camera back up here. Okay. Right.
We haven't asked. How is everyone this evening?
I'm fine, thank you.
Not fine. Okay. Everyone at home. I do care.
Stop! Don't do that because my head makes strange noises. It was doing it earlier.
I was trying to get the good luck. Oh no!
I told you. Do not rub my head. It makes a strange noise, and the dogs go mad.
Okay.
Anyway, right. See, sidetracked already. Right. Anyway, Chinese writing was developed during the Shang Dynasty, which was quite a long time ago, 1600 to 1046 BC. Oh, yeah, very old. And they continue to be popular in China today. And this is the ghost stories. All right.
I know a few Chinese ghost stories.
Would you like to tell the ladies and gentlemen?
I think it's Chinese, but I don't want to sound racist if it's Japanese and I said Chinese. But I heard them a while ago. So there's one where, you know, a stool of toilets.
A stall.
A stool.
Not a stool.
A stool.
A stool is what you leave in the toilet.
A stool.
A stool is what you leave in a stall.
A stall. Hang on, how do you pronounce it?
Stall.
Stool?
Stall. Stall. Not a stool.
A stool.
I give up. My daughter's an idiot.
On toilet. How do you pronounce it?
S-T-A-L-L. Stall.
Stall.
Like you stalled the car.
Stool.
No.
I'm saying it. Hang on.
You're saying stool.
Yeah, and you're
stool
saying,
is a.
Say both of them.
Stool. Stall.
All right. A stall of toilets. And if you go, you'll see that they don't go in the last one because apparently the last one has a demon in
Who
there.
doesn't go in the last one?
Chinese people. Or people who believe the ghost stories. So Asian people, I should say. Don't want to sound racist. They won't go. Did that sound racist?
I have Chinese nationality, believe it or not, but you carry on.
Okay. So they won't go in the end stall.
You said it.
To
leave a stool in the stall.
They won't go in the end one because they believe that there's a demon. And you go to the toilet and you won't have paper. And they'll knock on the door and they say, do you want red or white paper? Or red and white? And if you say red, they drag you down to hell. And if you say white, they hang you. Is it hang you in the...
Either way, I know what you're on about, and that is actually something that we're going to talk about on another show when we talk about like Chinese and Japanese demons and myths, which is a bit different. But yeah.
So you're supposed to say no, thank you, and then they supposedly leave you alone.
Yeah.
There's also one about a woman that has a smile.
Oh yes, there is. Yes,
But
and
we can save that for the next one.
yes, there is. Anyway, in different cultures, in different parts of China, different parts of Japan, a soul is consisted of two parts. And there's the Po, which was one of the Teletubbies, and the Hun, which I thought was something to do with Genghis Khan, but apparently not. The Po was the yin aspect of the soul, which was associated with darkness, water, and earth. There was a scholar called Charles Benn who wrote, it was the governor of the physical nature of man and gave form to the fetus in the womb. People wrote some utter drivel back then. Right.
So they're saying that the fetus in the womb is...
The baby?
Dark is bad.
Yeah, because it's unwritten, isn't it?
Oh.
It hasn't had its coding yet. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, what about if a fetus is at 9 months? Because that's had its coding. It's a full baby.
Well, it might come out as Dipsy Wipsy, we don't know. The Po was the animal nature of man, instincts and urges that first became apparent after birth, when the behaviour of an infant was clearly centred on the fulfilment of its self-centred needs. And the Hun was the yang aspect. I am merely going by what...
It's a baby!
I'm merely going by what Asians have been saying in ancient writings. Not these days, because these days pretty much they're going a lot, but that's about it. They do. They got.
I thought you were going to say they were more advanced than us.
No, they got more pollution and stuff, so they do.
Masks. You know, someone went around hoovering the air. No, they made a hoover that would filter down all the smog.
Smog. No, it's definitely not smeg.
And they hoovered it down. It was like an art project.
If they hoovered smeg, you're probably in Denmark.
After a day of being out, they had a block of crap from the air.
They have
a Facebook user.
There's actually towns over there that are, because of the amount of pollution they have, because they don't have health and safety laws and that are known as cancer towns. And if you live there, I think it's within about 2 months, you will have contracted some form of it. So that just shows you how bad the pollution is.
You know, there's still people living on the site of
Fukushima?
No, it's not to do with Asia. That place that we watched the program where the nuclear plant exploded. Chernobyl.
Russia.
Yeah, there's people still living there.
Almost the same continent, but not quite. Yeah, they don't live in the centre. They don't live in the epicenter.
No, but they live in
on the very outskirts. But even there,
that's mental.
Yeah, they wouldn't live in the centre if they lived in the. So
that's third eye. I'm digging.
Anyway, why are you digging the pillow?
That doesn't say fraud.
No, it doesn't say fraud. It says Freud. Freud.
Mayweather.
Sigmund Freud.
Who's that? Guys, I'm really tired. I've been up since 7:30.
When we finish on the show, we'll look up Sigmund Freud. Have you never seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Sigmund Freud, dude! There you go. You'll know what I mean when you see it.
Who is Facebook user?
I don't know who Facebook user is because we can't see even when I click on this. Look, I click on this. Oh. Stored nuclear material. Yeah, it did. Yeah, you're very right because that was in the news that, and it just dropped down and then all the material's gone and it's gone straight back to where it was before, wasn't it?
Well, is it because like all the trees and stuff would have absorbed it?
Yeah,
and
because
then they burnt and then it went into the
all
air.
the plants and everything absorbed it. But I mean, the animals were starting to come back and they didn't have elbows in the middle of their heads. So it just had extra bollocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you could have a quick surgery and get it off. He's had it.
Far more blanks than the TA. Anyway.
I was on that dog. But he's had it.
What, Mr. Flappy McSacky?
Oh.
No, he is. Dear God, you totally completely lost me.
A sack slap. Sorry. It's only been 11 minutes.
Dear God, give me the string. Just get through this. Just do that. Anyway. Oh God, where the hell was I? We were talking about the different parts of the soul.
You said that a child has animalistic instincts in it.
Right, the Hun. We're up to the Hun. We've done Po. We're out on to Hun. Hun was the yang aspect of the soul, associated with light, fire, and the heavens. So you've got basically got yin and yang, dark and light, and everything. You know yourself. There's no good without bad. There's no light without dark. So
there's no good without destruction. Is that the same?
It's easy if you try. Right, let's start with a few Po and Hun hauntings. So you got to remember you've got dark ones and you got
well, that's the same everywhere, isn't it?
It's like chocolate, isn't it?
I like dark chocolate.
I don't.
You can have good hauntings, which are nice guys.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
And you can have bad, which are dark energy, right?
Yeah, that's right. I've out of all the investigations I've been to, I've dealt with 99. I mean, most investigators will tell you 99% of everything you do, it's not paranormal.
Yeah, it's explainable.
Yeah, but there is that 1% where there's that old song, things that make you go and if you've got that 1% that makes you go and you cannot, no matter what you do, place it. You know,
a scratch on your back.
Yeah, I got scratched. Out of all the places I've been to, most places hiya Tracy, have been absolutely benign. There's been nothing there. But I have been to places where there's been some good energy. I've been to a couple of places, forests especially, where there's been elemental energy, and you have to be very careful what you do with them. And I've been to, I'm back, Arnie, so I'll be back. And I've been to a couple of places where there's been dark energy, and one place in particular, I got scratched, I got pushed, and I got scratched.
And a little girl laughed at you.
No, that was in Epping Forest.
So you know when we did that walk around Canberra Island, it was my first one.
Yeah.
I sat down with like 3 or 4 of the people, and I said, if you just zone out, but be mindful, but zone out, you'll see something. We all saw something walk past into some ruins.
Was that the castle or was that on the beach?
Castle.
Right, okay. We did a Halloween special because I'm a paranormal investigator anyway. And my daughters are paranormal investigators in training. We're going to be doing some investigations with Nest and her team, aren't we? Hopefully. Yeah, and she did her first one, and it was a walk around Canvey Island and all that. And we started off at the beach where the bomber went, the American bomber went down, and that was active, really, really active. Oh, today we are talking about Chinese and Japanese ghosts and the difference between them. But seeing as you've never seen a Dark Mirror show before, we've been going for over 3 years now, and our shows always start off with a topic, and then we just get completely sidetracked and talk about nonsense. So, you know, we'll be talking about, like I say, tonight we'll be talking about Chinese and Japanese ghosts. And so far we've talked about some of the paranormal pugs. There's one here. There's a paranormal German Shepherd called Ghost there. And there's a paranormal pug over there who's sulking and gone to sleep. And somewhere there's a cat and another dog. See what I mean? The show we did before. One I was doing on Presenters Hour. With all the ladies.
Oh.
I say ladies.
What is it? What's the show that they have?
It was a Presenters Hour.
No, the one that's on Tuesday. Wobbly witches.
Oh, it's on tomorrow, 2 o'clock. You have to be there. Not like lunch, which is like lunch, which is
It's like wobbly witches.
witches.
But I think you're wobbly warlocks, aren't you?
We're the wobbly warlocks, but I don't know when that's
So
going to
it's-
start. Late.
I think it's loose witches.
Loose witches. That's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking ladies at lunch. Yeah, loose witches. That's on tomorrow, on the same channel. Tomorrow on the HAPRC channel, 2 p.m. Don't miss it because it's always a
I'll
laugh.
try and make it because I missed the last one. I didn't realise.
Because we thought it was on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was my fault. So Taylor will be there along with all the other ladies, and it is nuts. They are nuts.
You got nuts.
I have got nuts.
That's why you're a wobbly warlock.
No, I had the dreaded cat operation. That's why I have 2 children and no more. Because I've had enough, and that's why I'm bald.
Oh,
You did it.
we're so sidetracked. We need to.
Anyway,
Well, she did ask about Epping Forest though.
she did ask. Epping Forest, I've taken teams around there a few times, and depending on which bit of the forest you go to.
Didn't you have like an escaped?
Oh yeah, there's an escaped criminal. Yeah, we took a group round there, and the forest constable stopped us, and he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I showed him my license that we had because we actually got it from the forest constable. And he's like, "Ah, that's all right. Just be careful where you go." There was an escaped convict, and he
didn't have shoes on.
Yeah, he didn't have. Can I talk?
Sorry. I mean, you can.
He didn't have any shoes on because he'd actually come out of the mental health wing of whatever prison it was he'd come out of. And then this was the middle of winter, and it was freezing. It was like -2 or something like that. And you got this nutter going around without his shoes on where we're doing an investigation. I don't know who'd have been freaked out more. Us looking for ghosts, and he appears and he's like, "Oh, what are you looking for? Ghost? Am I a ghost?" Ah! Or the group. My hand was salty. Any dirty person. And yeah, another thing about Epping Forest, it depends what part of the forest you go to as to what energies and what things you'll pick up on. There's I'm a nutter anyway, but there is I will tell you now, there's a part of the forest that was used as a dumping ground for certain places in the East End of London that had to get rid of things. And I'll just leave it like that.
We don't know who you are, Facebook user.
For some reason, all the Facebook users are coming in as it just says Facebook user.
Because they need to log in.
Oh yeah, if you can actually log in into the HRPLC live feeds channel, I'll be able to see who you are. So like them and join them. Where the hell was I? Right, we've told you about Epping Forest. Now we're talking about Chinese and Japanese ghosts. No, Po and Hun.
No, but it's yin and yang.
Yin and Yang. Chinese ghosts are there's 2 types. There's, for those of you who've just joined us, there's Yin and Yang, which are called Po and Hun. One is light, one is dark, one is good, one is bad. When we do the next investigation in Epping Forest, Tracy, I'll let you know, and I will get an invite your way, okay? Because I am on a different team now, but I'm going to ask that team if they fancy doing Epping Forest at some point, right? Right, where the flipping it were we? Right, Po and Hun hauntings. Stories of ghosts haunting a house where they once lived, haunting relatives, or appearing to strangers for help are example of Po hauntings. And I don't mean a red Teletubby comes out and goes at you. The yin spirit is still attached to the earth. I saw that.
Oh, it might be a Po doll that gets possessed. Looks like
Tinky Winky,
Dipsy.
Dipsy,
Father.
and
Dad.
there's no way you came from my loins. You're adopted. The yin spirit is still attached to the earth because proper rituals were not observed to release it, and that happens in a lot of Asian ghost stories. If the proper funeral rites have been observed, they will hang around. And on a totally sidetracked again, have you ever seen is it a Japanese vampire or a Chinese one? I think it's Chinese vampire. They go like that and they hop. They literally go.
Oh yeah, they're like bunnies, aren't they?
Yeah, and the only way you can stop them is you have to write a prayer on a piece of paper on a post-it note, and you go and stick it in the middle of their forehead, and it's just like, and you stick a post-it note to their head. And that's it. They stop. End of it. You don't need Van Helsing, stakes, nothing. Literally, post-it note. There you go. Jog on,
What
mate.
if it falls off?
Well, then staple it. Just put it on there. They stop. Get a stapler and go, dish, and they're going to go, oh, and that's it. They're not going to move because it's stapled there, and they're like
Like the dog
that's
when
it.
you put a laser on there.
Like that cat when they put the flower in his head and they went, and the cat went, it does that. Now, yeah, that's Chinese. All I can see is a pair of ears. Hello, Ghost. The white one is Ghost. I don't know what she's seen, but you look like you've seen a ghost.
She has seen the ghost.
Oh, God, where the hell was I? One of the best known stories of this type, which we said about, was the Poe ones. You can have a drink. There you go. It's about the ghost of a young girl who visits the home of some brothers. You pull it, you don't screw it. The spirit was so irritating that they caught it, put it in a bag, and threw it down a well. The next night, it came back carrying the bag and haunted them again. They stuffed it back into the bag, tied a rock to it, and threw it into the river. Again, the next night, though, the little girl came back, and this time the brothers put her in a hollowed-out log, which they capped on each end and set adrift on the river. The spirit thanked them for a proper burial, never bothered them again. That's actually quite sad. When you think about it.
I zoned out. I was reading that comment. I'm so sorry.
Basically, long story short, little girl wasn't buried properly, came back and haunted. These two brothers saw her, and they put her in a bag, chucked her down the well, came back. Put her in a bag, chucked her in the river, came back. Got a hollowed out log, put her in it, and capped each end of the log, and set it adrift, and she thanked them for giving her a proper burial.
Oh, so like a coffin?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you knew it was a coffin because as it went down the river, you could hear.
Yuri, is that Yuri? Yeah, Yuri and
Poland.
Japanese folklore dressed in white and flames accompany cycling off the dead.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I'm actually a kickboxing instructor, fourth dan master instructor, and I wear black when I teach because I refuse to wear white because it's funeral colours in Asian terms, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I always wear black just out of respect.
Bit morbid. My favourite flower is a white lily. I think it's called like the ear lily, or it's like a Latin name for ear. The singular lily that has one petal, and it's actually a funeral flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one, it's just like a normal stalk with the bit of a lily, and then it just has one petal that curls. It's a funeral flower.
In what cultures?
Every culture, I guess.
Okay. The whole reason I put my hat on is because I've noticed that when I take my head off, look at that!
You take your head off.
It beams out. Right. Hun hauntings are different because the Hun was not as attached to the body as the Poe ones are. Because remember, the Poe ones were Earth.
I love lilies too.
Stories about ritual possession, ghosts appearing as though they were still living, or ghosts taking revenge on the living are examples of Hun hauntings. What?
It's called a peace lily.
We've got some of them downstairs, you deaf bugger.
No, we don't have
Peace lilies.
Peace
lily. Thank you. Peace lilies are actually really hard to keep up, do the upkeep on.
We don't have peace lilies.
We do.
No, that's not what I'm taking off. Give me a second. Oh, wow, someone has white lilies all over their front garden. We can't really have lilies like exposed. The one that we have is in the bathroom because it's poisonous to dogs and cats.
Whoever it is that has white lilies all over the front garden. Who are you? Because all we can see is Facebook user. So all we can see is Facebook user has white lilies all over the front garden. What's your name?
I love my flowers. I wish I could show you guys my bedroom. I have like my entire windowsill, and it is full. And my curtain pole, I have two spider plants. I have a curly spider plant and I have a normal one hanging. And I got lots of babies, two different loads of babies on my normal spider plant. And I just recently bought a tree that kind of looks like a fig tree, but it's not actually a fig tree.
Do you know what? Is that your dog that's done that?
Yeah. Hasty fart.
There's a haunting going on here as well.
It's Wayne.
You smelly little bugger.
It's Wayne.
Oh, flipping heck. Hi, mate. You all right?
Oh,
The tiniest pug with the biggest fart. Oh, even the German Shepherd's gone off and gone, oh my God, no. Oh dear God. That's totally thrown me off. Right, here we go. Hun hauntings, different, taking revenge. Hun was the rational part of a person, their personality, and it's also thought to be the part of the person affected by illness in life. And the astral self would appear to others in dreams after death. In a dream, this chap saw a figure standing in a robe telling him, I am returning your soul to you. And I'm throwing orange robes at him. The next morning, he recovered from this sickness that he had when he was ill. It was a teacher who was actually called Tan. Whether he had a tan or not, we don't know.
This is the lily that I'm on about. That's a peace lily.
It just says white lily.
No, but that's a peace lily.
But it says white lily.
The one downstairs is
I was reading a story, so you know.
Carry on. Sorry.
Thank you. You sure?
Yeah. No, it's fine. Honestly.
Dear God. Right. Town fellow, blah blah blah. So, returning your soul to you, orange robes. Next morning, he recovered from the illness, and the orange robes basically symbolised the clothing of the soul, the unique aspect of it, which was from the Hun haunting. So basically, when in this dream he had, this ghost gave him the orange robes, which meant they were giving him his body back so that he could recover and become whole again. There's another story. Two friends, Zhao and Lu, made a pact that whoever died first would return to tell the other what the afterlife is like. And basically, Lu passed away first, and then some months after Lu died, Zhao heard a knock at his door one night and the voice of his friend requesting that he douse the lamps, because you remember back then it was oil lamps. Douse the lamps and let him in so that they could speak in the dark. As they were talking, Zhao was disturbed by the smell of a rotting corpse and found that Lu's Hun had possessed the body of a barbarian who had been dead 7 days. Like your armpits. And in another tale, emphasizing the importance of keeping one's word, there was a marshal called Li who wanted to marry a young girl but was refused by her mother. And Li, being Li, I have to have her. And he vowed he would never marry if he could not marry her. And he proved himself so devoted and persistent that the mother let him marry her daughter. And he swore to be faithful forever. After a few years, the girl died, and only 1 year later, Lee arranged to marry somebody else. And just before his marriage, when he was soaking in the bathtub, of all times, the Hun of his first wife appeared, reminding him how he had promised that he would never marry anybody else. And she sprinkled some herbs into his bath and vanished. Never had an erection afterwards.
Really?
No. Almost. And so bloated he could not move. He died in the bathtub, and when he was found, his bones and tendons had dissolved. Ooh, that's nasty. Yes? The Carla lily.
That's what I'm on about.
Carla comes
It's
from
named after the Greek word for beautiful.
Carla.
And my nan had an entire greenhouse full of them. You can't see it properly. And when she died, the day after she died, or my great grand, the greenhouse completely collapsed and killed all of the lilies.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, mum's side.
Yes, that's true. Yes. What Trace said, dog farts are amazing. Clear a room within seconds.
Disgusting.
Different streaming platform, lol. Okay, yeah, it's all right, Wayne. No worries.
Cool.
And
then disgusting.
I'm just reading what everybody's saying in the chat room first.
Yeah, the small plants are peace lilies. That was right. The small ones are peace lilies, but these ones are like big. I know them as that weird name.
Carla.
But it's mum's mum that told me, and she was like crazy about plants and stuff. So.
Yeah, as much as I didn't like the mother-in-law, I will say she was very good at her gardening.
Yeah.
So was my ex. She was really good at gardening as well, amongst other things. Right, so we've already talked about Po and Hun, and basically, and the Po and Hun are the two parts of your soul, the yin and the yang. If they come back to haunt the living, then they're known as Gui or Kui or Kui or Gui.
Gui.
Goi goi.
Goi goi.
Goi goi.
Goi goi.
My granddaughter, when she's got a dummy in her mouth and she's sleepy, she goes, goi 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 goi. And a friend of ours has actually had that tattooed on his arm. He's got a dummy and it says a goi goi.
Goi 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 goi.
Anyway, the reason that the Poe and the Hun would come back, or Dipsy and Lala would come back as ghosts, was through proper burial. You can have some more juice. Stop asking. Just help yourself. We're live. They don't need to hear you going, "Can I have some juice?"
I whispered it.
Do you really
They didn't hear me.
They did.
Did you
They
hear
did.
me?
Yes,
Did you
they
hear
heard
me?
you. Yeah, we did. See? Told you.
No, I will wait for Tracy to answer. Did you hear me ask?
Idiot.
Dead. That means no.
No, I think she heard you. A particularly dangerous form of this ghost was known as the. They have some mouthfuls here. No, we didn't.
Ha! When yes, your name is coming up now. Don't spill it. Thank you, James.
James.
not
James
to.
is awesome. He's followed us through a lot of our Dark Mirror stories and Dark Mirror shows, and he followed us before we
And
came onto
evidently
HAPRC.
through the Lemonade series.
You're an idiot.
It was an accident. If the camera was like 2 inches to my right, you would have seen that it wasn't my fault.
See, Tracy doesn't know about that, and there's probably a few in the chat room who don't know about that. We're broadcasting live. I was in the middle of telling a story.
I have a 2-litre lemonade bottle. I'm holding it from the bottom. I start pouring it, and the bottle goes from this. It just goes.
It basically went flip because she forgot that when you hold it from the bottom and you tip it, it will get weak and go. And she did it. It went all over the laptop and everything. It was a squirter. It went everywhere. It really was, Tracy. It was a gusher. I'm just telling you.
She's doing this to us.
Squishing your head right now. Do you see why the Dark Mirror show is known for going off on a tangent and just making people laugh? Do you see?
Well, we all need it.
Which, quite frankly, is the way I love the Dark Mirror show, and it will always be like this. You'll get some useful information, you'll get some facts, you'll get some stories, but you will laugh a lot. And if we've done that, even once, if we've made you laugh once, our job's done. Same with on the presenter show. If we made you laugh, job's done.
I'm just glad that we're on a Friday night because it's much more relaxed and you can just mess about.
Yeah. And although it's after 9 o'clock and we can swear, I think if you swore too much, it would ruin it. What the hell was that?
So we can actually check out.
I think we've got a paranormal event going on here. Either that or the cat fell out the window. I'm not sure. Ghost is growling. What have you seen?
1 second.
There's nobody there. Oh, what is it?
Enough. It's okay.
There are actually a couple of visitors in our house. And when I say visitors, I mean of the paranormal kind. All benign. And there's is it 2 cats as well? 2 ghost cats?
Yeah, so the people before us, the people before them, it was an old couple and they had a cat that they buried in the garden, and we've left the space that we haven't dug it up or anything, obviously. And I see that quite often, and I also see our old cat, Stitch, quite often as well. But I've spoken to you about that.
Yes, we've got Lilo and Stitch, and unfortunately Stitch got run over a few months ago. So, but he comes back and visits us. My dad, my late father, he comes back and visits us now and again, doesn't he? And my son, he died. Was it 3 years ago now, isn't it? It's 3 years ago. Yeah, it's 3 years ago.
Almost 4.
He passed away the week before his 15th birthday, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, he comes in now and again, and we always know when he's been about because.
Like with what happened? You dropped or you lost something, and then he looked all around his bed, couldn't find it, and then he sat down and looked, and it was there, and it was just definite.
It was I do exercise and stuff, and I use the Sunstone belt because it really works. And the cover for one of them, I put all the covers on the side, and then my daughter borrowed it, brought it back, and one of the covers was missing, and literally looked everywhere, downstairs, upstairs, where it had been here, underneath the bed, underneath the bottom of the bed, on the cabinets here, and I went out and landing and looked on the top of the stairs and everything. Came back in, the bloody thing was right there, and it's like, I don't know if you see that photo behind me. I can't do it. Why can't I?
There.
There. That's I'll suddenly pass away, Damien. And I just looked at the photo and went, really? And then he bloody well did it again with, it was the other one, wasn't it? It was the other one. It had been moved from there and then put over there on the bedside cabinet. And it wasn't her, and it wasn't her sister, and it wasn't our youngest son, because nobody else had been upstairs, and it wasn't my missus. So
we did have 2 cats, Lilo and Stitch, and yeah, I love Stitch as well. Don't know about the picture, and yeah, it is really nice when your family comes to visit and you know that it's them. It's always a nice feeling. What's that picture that he's on about?
picture of an Asian ghost old lady, spirit walking, pull her own hair. What was that one? Chinese nutter? I don't know. Maybe it'll come out in this. I have no idea, James, but when I find out, remind me and I'll private message you it. Okay. Anybody wants to know any information, you're welcome to go on Facebook, add us if you like. I'm on Twitter as well. Dark Mirror Paranormal, just look under there. We're on there. Like I say, we're on Facebook. Add me if you want to talk. Add me on Facebook. I would say add Taylor, but I'm a bit iffy about people. You've had some nutters. Have you had any more woolly pics sent to you?
No, not this time.
Right. Yeah. So if you want to add anybody on Facebook, you can add me. All right. Was that nice when you know your friends' family come back to visit? Yeah, it is. It is. I like that when they do that.
And they make themselves known that it is them and it's not someone else, other than in the old house.
Yeah. But like I was saying about these Chinese ghosts that come back, improper burial is the main reason for them to return, or so that they could seek revenge, or ask for help in righting the wrong that they had done when they were alive. In one story, the mother of a man passed away, and after all the proper rituals were observed at her burial, she actually returned to haunt her son. But in this case, grave robbers had actually broken into her tomb and defiled her body, which is not a nice thing to do.
Wait.
Defiled her body.
In the way that
defiled.
I think it means.
Defiled.
Yeah.
Defiled her body. Why would you do that? Yeah, I mean, seriously, you got Tinder. Use that. I suppose back then they didn't have Tinder, so they couldn't swipe right. They'd have to go to the next village. Yeah, and she needed her son basically to apprehend and punish them, and she told him this when she haunted her son. And basically, he did as she was asked. He found them, punished them. It doesn't say what punishment.
I would.
If somebody did. My mum's, she's alive. She's still with us, but my dad passed away, and if anybody had done that to my dad, they wouldn't be walking the streets now. I'll tell you. Anyway, and the son did as he was asked, and she was never seen again. She left him to it. A particularly dangerous ghost was a shui goi, and this time I'm not going to go off on a tangent. Goi, which translated means water ghost. I think that's probably the Japanese, because shui. No, shui. It's in it. It's shui gui. Yeah, shui gui.
Like feng shui.
Feng shui. Yeah, water. Shui is water in Chinese, in Mandarin, which basically spirit of somebody who had drowned and their body was never recovered or honoured with a proper burial. So basically, they come back and they are pissed off.
If you can't find a body, but you so like people who are lost at sea and stuff, they have a burial, but they can't find the body. Would that count as a proper burial, or would you have to have the actual body in order for it to be a proper burial?
I think it would depend, which culture, and it would depend how the person who unfortunately lost their life was brought up and what their particular beliefs were.
Like, I want to be turned into a tree, but some people may not say that that's a proper burial.
I think that's quite cool, because then there'd be something there for people to visit.
Yeah, because the way I see it, you can have grounds full of headstones.
Shui means water.
Or a forest.
I could say things about a forest, but that'd be jokes for another show, so I won't.
And I'd much rather have me be gone, but something useful be put in its place than.
Yeah, that's what I want, to be honest. When I go, turn me into a tree.
You can be a Japanese maple.
I'll be a Japanese maple. Just make sure a dog don't pee on me, all right?
Oh, I can't promise anything.
All right, make sure you don't pee on me.
Once again, I can't promise anything.
Anyway, so this, where are we? Flipping heck, shui gui, feng shui, shui gui It's spelled the same. Shui Gui. A Shui Gui haunted the waters where they died, and they lured people in to drown. Basically, they because they were so peed off, they didn't have that burial. They'd lure people in and go, "Do you know what, mate? Sod you, I'm going to drown you." Yes. And after their victim was dead, the Shui Gui could move on, but the victim's spirit took its place. I see. So it's like a cycle. Once they'd killed that person and drowned them, then they basically took the Shui Gui's place, and the Shui Gui could move on. Hang on a minute, James.
Asians are very spiritual and superstitious. So they would feel like about that. Yeah, that's what I thought.
When you read the stuff out on the message, you can speak up.
Oh, but they can read it. That's why I didn't speak up.
It's gone. Where did the message go? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
No, you're right. James is right. Asians are very spiritual and superstitious, so they would feel out of place for burial to be with their ancestors. You're exactly right. As I said at the beginning of the show, I was born in Hong Kong and we lived over there for a while. And I'm, although I'm actually, ironically, by descendant, I'm actually a Viking by descendant. So that's where the red hair comes from. Thorkel the Tall.
We mentioned this
is our descendant. But I was born in Hong Kong, and I'm proud of the Chinese side. Although none of my parents are Chinese, it's purely because of my father being in the military. But I'm very, very proud of my Chinese side, and that's why I started all the martial arts and teaching it. And I'm actually very proud that I've taught people to, given people encouragement to look after themselves and take pride in themselves. Liberated them. I've had somebody come back to me who basically people tried to gay bash him, and I taught him for years, and he looked after himself and he defended himself, and they left him alone after that. And he used to bully him, so I'm really proud of that. You know.
Terry has a good point. No body, no burial, only
nobody. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I want my ashes put in the firework. Wayne, you would, wouldn't you? You just would. I could. You don't know Wayne. You have to meet him one day. He would. I could. Who's going to be the one to light it? Where the hell's the rocket going to be aimed? Right, Shui Gui, Tibidir, take place. Talismans and amulets are often worn to protect oneself from a Shui Gui. Shui Gui when going near the water or swimming. There's another one called now this one I think is sort of the one you want to see what it names me. The Jiangshi was a kind of zombie ghost, and Jiangshi translated means stiff body. Make of that what you will. Jiangshi. And basically Jiangshi steals the breath from a person. A writer called Ben wrote, the Chinese believe that the breath qi, and I do believe in qi because I use qi in martial arts, and when I teach people how to use qi or qi, whichever side of the fence you want to go. Was the vital energy on which life depended, and these spirits sought to steal that away for themselves. Jiangshi would continue to pursue a person until their breath was taken. See, that thing about stealing breath is in a lot of civilizations, a lot of places all down throughout centuries, because there used to be the one about myth in European cultures that if a cat slept in a cat's cradle, child's crib, baby's crib, it would steal their breath, and that's what it was trying to do.
It's the same as if you show an infant, a really small baby, it's reflection self in a mirror.
It takes the soul. But yeah, that's where the cat myth comes from. Anyway, Jiangshi continued to pursue the person until the breath was taken, but because the spirit was already in the land of the dead, it could not return to life. And because it continued stealing, I see, it basically kept stealing breath from other people because it thought it would bring them back to life. But because they were already dead and gone to the land of the dead, they could never come back to life. But they didn't know this. A bit dim, really, aren't they? Yeah. You've seen them, they hop. Terry, I love Central America and Mexico. Yes, Dia de Muerta, isn't it? Day of the Dead, when they dig up their relatives and give them cigarette fags and drinks and dress them up in all sorts. That's right, yeah, they do. Say, James, they same in some Asian places as well. Very cool cultures automatically believe in spirits. See, I mean, my father was Irish, My mother was English Scottish, but it's
English.
is English. I'm so sorry, Mum, if you're watching this.
Wow.
I know you're still here. Don't worry.
So I message her and say, "Are you alright, man?"
I know my mum's still here because I see her broomstick parked outside occasionally.
She's not allowed to drive, actually.
That's why she got a broomstick.
Oh.
She crashed the last one into a tree. Don't you dare tell her I said that.
Where's my phone?
I'm not particularly religious because of things that have happened. Like I say, lost my father, lost my son, all that sort of stuff.
Lost your sanity.
No, I lost my sanity years ago. The day I met your mother.
You still had children with her.
I know, and that's why I've got no bloody sanity. No. What do you think I had the cat operation?
Anyway,
yeah. I'm not religious really. I think if I do believe in any sort of deity, it's the ancient ones. As in, like,
Ra.
You're an idiot. You are genuinely an idiot. The ancient ones were Egyptian ones. I'm talking about before that.
Don't call me an idiot. Are they not ancient? Are they not ancient? Yeah, they are. Doesn't matter.
They're Egyptian. They're Egyptian.
Oh, ancient. You're ancient.
Catherine Tate, Egyptian.
Yeah, but
yeah, like her and the Hunter and all that sort of stuff. I do believe that there's been something there from the beginning of time.
Like Ra.
But
you look like a vampire.
Oh, Chinese vampire. And I do believe that we've all got chi inside us, chi, ki, whatever you want to call it.
I do. Well, that punch.
Yeah, I teach and I use chi in all my stuff, and I teach how to use it. I teach how to get it up and how to push it out of your body and use it for good and for bad. You've got two types of it called dark and light medicine. You've got dark medicine and white medicine. You can use it in all that.
Yeah, you heard me. Did you?
I did hear you. I did. I'm just completely bloody ignoring it.
I keep saying that he's so old. His first pocket money was rocks.
I'm 47.
Oh. Oh.
Laugh it up, Fuzznuts.
Wait, so
laugh it up.
27 when you had me?
When I had you, I'm putting on my ass. I was 27.
You whistle when you walk.
I was 27. Became. That's not a brown wishing well. Stop putting pennies in there. Yeah, I was 27 when I became your dad.
25.
I was 25 when I started making Becky, and I was 26 when she popped out. I was 26 when I started making you, and I was 27 when you popped out. It was a bad night on TV, so there was nothing else to do. Dear. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the conversation. What'd you say? No, I'm 47, you cheeky bugger. Seriously, born in 1972, 47. If you're wondering about this, I've had chemotherapy.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes left. So
yeah, but it's our show, and it doesn't matter.
Does it matter if we run over? Like, actually,
it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
Because I've been wanting to continue it and like get everything out that we wanted to say, but we always
rude, isn't it?
No, and I've always wanted to continue it and finish what we wanted to say, but
yeah, no, you can. It's most shows run over anyway. Yeah, no, I've had cancer 7 times and I've had chemotherapy twice. That because it literally took that. It went. Do you know what? I'm going to leave you the sides and the back, but I'm going to take this. And now it's started growing back. I just shave it all. I shave it all off because I can't be arsed with it, you know. But yeah, that's why I'm bald. It's good because of chemotherapy. And I am 47. I am not older. I am not younger. I'm 47. She's Terry, you're talking about Monty Python, aren't you? Where did you live as a kid? I lived in Holland Road. Holland Road, luxury. Yeah, I'll find it for you and show you. Yeah, I have put my hat. That's the whole reason I got my hat on, because it goes bing, there's a lightsaber on my head, you know.
What's it say on my forehead? Look at that. Look at that.
That's because you're ginger, like me. Apparently, we don't have a soul. So we're going to steal yours through the camera. Tracy, don't worry. Don't worry. I know. It's fine. Don't worry. People, where the hell was I? You were licking the dog. You're very
kissed
strange.
the dog. I kissed it. I only licked mine.
What?
What?
What did you just say?
I clean them. Sometimes when they're sleeping and their head's here, I'll go.
I have noticed actually. Her pug. Work with on the show previously, and you see what I got. Family life.
It's just good. Maybe sometimes I'll do it like, but I don't never go past two. After two, it's weird.
As Sheriff Bufus T. Justice. That's one of my favourite films. Anyway, back to Shang-Chi, zombie, stiff body. Wait. Shang-Chi are also known as hopping ghosts. What did I tell you? Because their spirit bodies are so stiff.
Same.
I wish you wouldn't look at your daddy like that.
Why do you think the dog's on like that?
Because the spirit bodies are so stiff that they seem to hop instead of walk, and they're predatory ghosts who had to be warded off by charms and spells, and that's what I was talking about. Chinese. Okay, Terry. It's not our end because our internet's actually been pretty good.
Fixed today.
Yeah, it was sorted out today, so I don't know why it keeps stopping for you. But yeah, no. Thank you for listening, and you stay safe as well. Hopefully,
Bye.
we'll see you next week.
Keep saying stiff, Dad. Keep saying it.
Stiff.
Here you are.
Just what?
Yeah, I made it weird. And what?
Yeah, don't sit next to me. Right. Predatory ghosts. The spells and charms. That's what I was on about to stop a Jiangshi, which are also vampires as well. They could be zombies or vampires. You have to write a spell on a piece of paper, like a post-it note, and stick it bang in the middle of their foreheads, like that, and they literally stop.
Oh, they're only. Is it here?
No,
it's up here. Sorry.
What are we looking at?
Oh, this. They're only able to travel in straight lines.
If you want to let me finish talking about
I mean, you could.
We can get there.
You could. It's fine. I'm just doing a job for you. But
I can still hear you, Mark. It did go funny, but it's still here. Thank you.
Someone's on Netflix.
Somebody's on Netflix. Somebody who's 11 years old and in the next room, and I said, "Don't stream anything whilst we're live." Is streaming.
He doesn't know. He doesn't understand the difference between like watching YouTube videos and Netflix is still streaming a video.
He doesn't understand the difference between a crisp and toilet paper.
Can't argue with
that. There's other types of ghosts that have a significant impact on Chinese culture and are seen in a number of aspects. The false front or shadow wall just outside the front doors of Chinese houses originated to fool particular type of ghosts who were unable to find the actual front door in. So we're talking about familiar family ghosts, you know? And especially the Jiangshi or zombies or vampires, they were thought to only be able to travel in straight lines. There you go. And this is why the roads in China are always curvy. See, I didn't know that. Curvy, just like I like my women. So glad you're not. So the ghosts cannot haunt them. Your face is offensive.
Yeah, well, do you all know it is offensive? That.
You blinded everybody! I'm back in the room. Accidents on the roads in China are frequently they blame ghosts. Anything happens on a road in China, they're like ghosts. Not somebody doing an insurance scam or anything. Have you seen those insurance scam videos where the person will be stopped at a traffic light and you'll see this dodgy looking person walk along, look at the car and go, I'm going to slow down now, and there's just as the car's about to move, they'll jump backwards and go, ah! On their bonnet and go, ah! And slide down the bonnet. And you can see the bloke get out and just basically look at them and go, what the frick are you doing? Well, how can they blame them? Drivers will claim that a ghost stepped out in front of the car and they swerved to avoid it.
Yeah, but to be honest, if that is a reasonable reason in court, do you know how many drivers are going to say, "Oh, there's a ghost"?
So I strongly recommend searching the internet to see if there are any court records where somebody has gone in and said, "Do you know what? A ghost popped out in the middle of the road. What, the squirrel? It was a ghost. It was my Auntie Sheila. It popped out and Jesus!" And I swerved and I hit the tree. Hiya, mate. You all right? No difference pretty quickly if you wipe your butt with a crisp. No, I really don't think he would. He's a bit of an idiot.
I was just about, who throws the toilet paper?
Yeah, he would. There's also protector gods, which are also invoked when you've got these Jiangshi around. They're called Menshen, and the Menshen were the ghosts of peaceful sleep, who are often painted on either side of a doorway to guard against evil demons or ghosts. So that's why in a lot of...
I need one of them.
I think I need one to stop you coming in the room. When you look at a lot of Chinese and Japanese architecture, you'll see a lot of doorways and archways, entranceways with these particular things either carved in them or painted on them.
It's the same as how we have the horseshoe.
Yeah, pretty much. But that was iron. It had to be made out of iron to stop it. What exactly are you doing? Don't you dare spit that out of your nose. No, you've already put one lot of stuff all over the laptop. Don't do another lot. Swallow it. Swallow.
I was drinking.
Thank you.
It's just, I can't put that in my mouth. Whoop. Hello, Kelly.
Is that why your boyfriend doesn't come down very often? Protected ghosts, I know to mention. Cargo seems to go. Dogs were also great protection against ghosts of all kinds, but especially the Jiangshi or the zombie vampire types. And that is the same in almost every culture all throughout the world. Dogs are used as very good protection against against the afterlife, and including the ghost here. Our particular animals, and as daft as it sounds, they know when there's been a visitor in the house, as in paranormal visitor, and they know if they can tell the difference between a family one or like one from down the road that's just going through and checking the houses, or if this, like I said, we've got the spirit of two cats here as well. They know when it's at.
Is crazy when anything visits. I was at my mum's house.
Yeah.
I was at my mum's house and he stood at the bottom of the bed while I was trying to sleep.
That's Chewy.
This one, black one. And he growled at the corner of the room and I had to tell it to leave. It was only a little girl, but I had to say, sorry, can you please leave? Like, you have to leave, because he growled non-stop for almost an hour.
The unfortunate thing about dogs in Chinese and Japanese culture were, once upon a time, if they were of the person who died was of high status, their dogs would be killed and buried in front of the house so that their spirit could ward off the ghosts, which I think is not a very nice thing to do to your best friend,
Yeah. Here's Lilo.
But eventually people began using, that's Lilo, the other half of Lilo and Stitch.
And look, she's quite small, but if you hold her up here and you wiggle her, she extends. Sorry, love. Good girl.
The things you see on this show.
She's still squished in your head.
She's still squished. Squish. I wonder if I can do it with me.
Move closer. Yeah.
Squishing your head. There you go.
We squish your head. Ah.
And as I say, dogs are once buried and killed and put outside the front door. And eventually that turned into placing straw dogs there, and then evolved into the use of dog statues. And even in modern day China, you'll find dog statues outside the front door of a home, which is very, very true. I'm just trying to see what I can finish on, because whenever I do a show, the amount of research that I've actually done for that show could fill 3 shows.
Like this is 11 pages, and we're technically only on the 4th page.
Yeah. So I'm sort of going through it. I'll do the last bit about hungry ghost festivals. Now, I'm sure all of you have seen like manga or an Asian film, because we all like watching the old Jackie Chan flicks and this, that, and the other. And they talk about hungry ghosts. Right?
I like Attack on Titan.
That's weird, that Attack on Titan.
Really
I've watched that, and it's just like huge ass
people.
Well, they're not vegans
Titans,
anyway.
They're Titans. I cried on the first episode because a kid watches his mum get bitten in half.
And you find that funny?
No.
Hungry Ghost Festival is a ritual which is still observed in China today, and it's Tomb Sweeping Day during the Xingming Festival, which usually falls around the 4th of April. So they've just had those, haven't they? Even if one has neglected the graves of one's parents, relatives, or friends all year, as long as you go to the Hungry Ghost Festival and attend to those graves on Tomb Sweeping Day or Hungry Ghost Festival, and you pay your respects, then you won't be haunted by them. You'll have no problems. The Ghost Festival is also still observed. The celebration, known as a Hungry Ghost Festival, appeases the souls of the dead so they will not bother the living. And this takes place during Ghost Month in China on the 15th day of the 7th month. So basically 15th of July. And it's thought that the curtain, like we have over here at Halloween, it's thought that the curtain or veil between the land of the dead and the land of the living is drawn aside and the dead can cross back over. So it's exactly the same as Halloween. You know, when Halloween, All Hallows Eve, when they think that you can go and pop over the curtains, as long as it's not shower curtains, I don't mind.
But do you get a really weird, like, tingling feeling around like Halloween Day? The air's different.
I know what you mean. There's like a susurration.
Probably.
No, that's a big flock of starlings.
It's like the air's tingly, and when you breathe it in, it's
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes depends where you are.
Every Halloween I get it, but Halloween's my favourite day. So.
Actually, one of my friends, I call my little brother Tom. His birthday is on Halloween, isn't it?
Tom's birthday's Halloween.
Did you know that?
Do you remember #MoreLife? My birthday's Halloween.
Anyway, we won't talk about that person. But yeah, there you have it. I've got loads more I could say, so I think what I'll probably do is put that on for another show or two.
Well, the next show, if you guys like this one, we can always continue this on.
We can always carry on, yeah, but I can add a few other things.
Yeah.
So, as I've always said, if you guys have a particular subject or something you'd like us to talk about, you can join us on the HAPRC website, Facebook site, or you can send me a private message on Facebook. My daughter's an idiot. Or you can send me a friend request and just tell us what you'd like us to talk about. We'll do that. Star Wars Day. Yes!
Star Wars Day is my anniversary. May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you. Those of you who know me know I'm an absolute mental Star Wars nut. I have an artificial leg because I lost my foot, and that is R2-D2. I have that. Can't say it. One day I'll show you properly. I have R2-D2 on here. I have the Mandalorian's symbol on here. I've got Star Wars on my walls, and
I even have a Star Wars tattoo here.
She has a Scout Walker there, and I have the AT-AT there, which is next to my R2-D2 one, because Banksy did a picture of a
Scout Walker
AT-AT and a Scout Walker, and the AT-AT was looking at the Scout Walker saying, "I am your father." So we did that as a father-daughter tattoo. She is the Scout Walker, and I'm the AT-AT, because I'm a 47-year-old bastard who apparently is a lot older than I look. Tracy, what is 6 years? Oh, yours only on a half anniversary. 6 years. Well done.
Don't know how he put that with me.
No, I don't either. And he's still got all his hair as well. And on that note, I will love you and leave you. Stay tuned all throughout the week, and you'll see lots of brilliant shows coming up on the HAPRC Facebook site, live feed site. She is on tomorrow with the Loose Witches at 2 o'clock. But I've even put myself down as Jedi on the census. I did the same thing, Wayne. I'll give you an air high five. There you go. Thank you. It is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Loose Witches. She will be there. I will stay out of the way because
I'll be in my room.
Oh, you can take the laptop in there, right? So, as I said, stay tuned. Listen to all the shows on HAPRC live feeds throughout the week, and if you find something there, remember just keep that visiting us. We will be back with you next Friday from 8 p.m. where we'll be doing the presenters show, and then from 9 p.m. till will be the Dark Mirror show, where we'll bring you more Friday night shenanigans and nonsense, and we'll start trying to do some sort of story review and then go off on a tangent, because it wouldn't be the Dark Mirror show without tangents.
Everybody's message, look, even there.
And it's people like you who listen to our inane witterings that make this show what it is. And thank you for listening. And James, you have been one of our longest standing fans. Stay safe and stay spooky. We will, mate. And we're going to be doing some, when the lockdown's gone, we'll be doing some investigations, and hopefully we'll be appearing at the HAPRC Centre. And when we are there, come along and say hello, and I'll give you your own personal aliens. So on that note, I will say goodbye, and thank you very much for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Stay safe, everybody. Don't go outside. It's not worth it.
Yeah, please just, as much as you can, stay inside.
Netflix and chill. That doesn't mean Netflix and chill. It means watch a movie in bed. Have a pizza.
Have a pizza.
Have a pizza.
Nice little pizza.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. We'll keep waving. Bye.
Bye.